everyone. So you may have seen, this is Pascal. Pascal is a veiled chameleon. There are about 180 different kinds of chameleons in the world, and they all have different abilities. Some of them can turn different colors, like there's the Parsons and the Jacksons. There's different kinds of chameleons that can really turn colors, like reds and blues and yellows. Then there's some that are more brown, and you can just go maybe from a light, like a yellow to a green and darker green. Pascal here, the veiled chameleons, he's got a pretty good pattern on him, and his colors will just either fade or get darker, but they really don't change colors. This area right in here can sometimes go a little bit more orange. You can see his eyes are watching me. He can move his eyes around, and look at his feet. He's got like 2 toes on one side and 2 toes on the other, and they can kind of grasp at things. But we're going to read a story today about a chameleon. And this is by Barbara De Lorenzo, and it's called Quincy, the Chameleon Who Couldn't Blend In. Have you ever felt like you couldn't fit in? Quincy wants to love chameleon school, but he's going to have some issues here. And we're going to see what they are. Quincy wanted to love chameleon school. I know my granddaughters were so excited when they were going to be able to start school. They got a new backpack. He loved learning how to zap and eat flies with his sticky tongue. He was the best at rolling his eyes in all directions. And nothing was better than swinging from his long curly tail. But there was one thing that Quincy wasn't good at. Blending in. Look, everybody is green, and there's poor Quincy right there. But boy, what a pattern on that. Quincy's worst subject was camouflage. We know camouflage is to blend in. To be a leaf, you must feel like a leaf, said Miss Tanglewood. Quincy just felt bored and his mind wandered. He noticed one leaf kind of looked like a rocket ship. Another looked like a dinosaur. So look, when he thinks about a rocket ship, it turns into a rocket ship. Another looked like a dinosaur. He's got little dinosaurs on him. And one looked like a mustache. Quincy, please go to the Peace Corner until you are ready to participate, said Miss Tanglewood. Uh-oh, look. You can see he's thinking about Miss Tanglewood, and so she appears on him. Did you want to read the story too? We'll read the story to you too. Quincy's best subject was art because he loved painting. Mrs. Lynn, his favorite teacher, showed the class how to paint leaves. Can you see that? Pascal wants to see. Suddenly he had an idea. I can paint myself green and blend in with the rest of the class, he said proudly. The plan worked, at least until swim class. He hoped that the paint was waterproof. It wasn't. Quincy, go take a shower, grumbled the coach. You liking this, Pascal? In the shower, Quincy closed his eyes and he tried to clear his mind. He tried thinking of nothing, but thinking of nothing reminded Quincy of clouds, and clouds reminded him of rainbows, and rainbows reminded him of mountains. Oh my goodness, look what's happening. Quincy's getting all of those things all over him, so anything he's thinking about appears on his skin. See the clouds, the rainbows, the mountains. I like how it goes into his tail there. At recess, Quincy was really bad at hide and seek. He decided not to play anymore. Instead, he sat alone, staring up at the clouds. "Quincy, is everything okay?" Mrs. Lynn asked. "Yep," Quincy said. "If you ever want to talk, I'm here," she offered. Look at that, there's like, it looks like storm clouds on him. But after recess, Quincy realized he was not okay. He had completely forgotten that today was his turn to read his poem in front of the entire class. He wished he could blend right into his seat, but of course he could not. Quincy closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and tried to clear his mind. He tried to focus on his poem, but he heard the audience whisper, and he felt their eyes on him. It occurred to Quincy that the worst thing he could think of right now was that he had to pee. Oh no, look at that. He's thinking about all the toilet paper in the toilet. Oh my goodness. Quincy ran off stage and into the art room. Mrs. Lynn asked, "Are you sure you're okay, Quincy?" "No matter what I do, I can't blend in," said Quincy. Said Mrs. Lynn. "You may have trouble blending in," said Mrs. Lynn, "but that's okay. Look at what you can do." Quincy couldn't help but smile. "We have a playground wall that needs painting," Mrs. Lynn said. "Would you like to paint your very own mural?" Quincy beamed. "Yes!" What do you think of that, Pascal? The next day, Quincy gathered all his art supplies. He closed his eyes. Instead of clearing his mind, he let his imagination wander. And he thought about how the world can be a beautiful place. Quincy knew what to paint. He painted what was on his mind. His classmates were curious what he was up to. They watched him work every day. He was so busy, he hadn't noticed the crowd gather behind him. "Wow," they said. Quincy was as colorful as ever, but for once, what's happening to him? He didn't mind. Look, can you see him? I think he's blending in. What do you think, Pascal? Can you see him? Wow, are you getting excited? Look at that. He's blending in right there with all of his artwork. Isn't that cool? Did you like that, Pascal? So that was the story again. It was Quincy the Chameleon Who Couldn't Blend In by Barbara DiLorenzo. And I think Pascal enjoyed it. What do you think, Pascal? Now, I just want to remind you that tomorrow on Friday, because I said I was going to give you a heads up, we're going to get the snakes out. So I have the ball python, Lucille ball, and I have the king snake noodle. So tomorrow, that is who we're going to bring out. Okay, and then remember on Monday, we're going to be doing the weigh-in for Tink, the African bullfrog, who's tiny now, but can get to be 1.5 to 3 pounds, depending on if it's a boy or girl. So you want to stop in on Monday to see how much Tink weighs. On Tuesday, we're going to read from Kipling's Just So Stories, and then we'll just see how it goes for the rest of the week. But on Thursday, we'll do story time again. So I want to thank you, and I thank everybody who stops in to see me every day. I especially want to say hello to Carolyn, because I know you're down there watching me, and I really appreciate that. So we will see you again soon, okay? Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.